For this effect, we're going to need two helper cards here. So let's say we go ahead and take out the two red kings. Now I can hand the deck over to the spectator and they can give it a little shuffle. When they're done, they're going to put the deck down and they're going to cut it in half, or approximately half. Now the spectator is going to be able to choose whichever half they would like. Let's say they choose this half. So I'll hand this half over to the spectator and they can go ahead and shuffle it. And with my half, I can actually show that we have the king of diamonds and we have the king of hearts. So we will take both kings and we will leave them right there. So let's say now with this half shuffled, we get a card selected. Let's say this is the card. So go ahead and remember this for me. So after the spectator has remembered their card, I would put it back somewhere in the deck and I can give this a little shuffle like this. So now I would explain to the spectator that we're only going to use the half with the king right here. So I want them to remember that the deck is spread out and the two kings are here because something is going to happen. So if I square up the deck and I snap my fingers, you're going to see one card and one card only is in between the two red kings. Now, it could be any card, but in this case, I think it is your card, the 10 of diamonds. So that is the effect for today. If you would like to learn how to do this, make sure to stick around for the tutorial. So, I would usually go ahead and upload the performance and the tutorial in two separate videos. Now, the reason I'm going to do the tutorial in this video is because for my last video, I already taught all of the sleights you're going to know, except one. So, I can teach that in this video, but otherwise than that, this video shouldn't be too long. So, in case you're wondering about the deck I'm using real quick, these are the Vanity 41, and these are actually gilded. So, I will leave the deck review to these down below. So, starting off the effect, you're going to have any two helper cards you would like. In this case, I chose Kings. So, you can actually take them out like this, or you can produce them any way you would like. Now, I was gonna actually produce them, but this deck wouldn't work for me. I can dribble fine, sort of fine, but it's a little hard to hold back one card. So, I don't know if that's because they're gilded, but it was too difficult. But that production is actually in the last video, which will be linked down below. So let's say you have the two kings. What you're going to do is you can have the deck shuffled again, but you're going to have it cut in half. And this is a totally free choice. You can now have the spectator choose which half they would like, and they can even take it with them if they would like. So let's say the spectator chooses this half. So while the spectator choosing this half, you're going to take these two kings, and essentially you're going to get one card in between them, and then when you spread out the deck, it's going to look like nothing is in between the two kings, but actually there's one card. So I actually taught this move in my last video, so I'm not actually going to teach it here, but I will show you the exposed view. So you have the two kings and you catch a break below the top card. So if you want to, you can do a pinky count, which I will leave a link for down below. If you want, you could put the kings on top, and you could riffle up 3 cards to catch a break underneath it. Or if you would like, you can spread over the 3 cards, put your index finger on this third card, lift up, put your pinky in, and square up. So now you have a break. So you're going to lift up on this break, you're going to peel off the king, and what... excuse me. I am sorry about that. Okay, so we know we have this first king peeled off. You're going to come back and your fingers are just going to peel this card to the side like this. And now when you slide this other king on, the card will be out like this. So now you can do a double undercut and then you can spread it. Hopefully you do it better than I did, but that's essentially what you want to do. So once again, you can check out the video down below where I go in depth for this move. But the next thing you're going to need to do is actually have a card controlled, or actually selected and controlled to the top. And the control I actually did, I taught in the last video as well. So here's how I did it. They touch a card. Let's say this one. I'm going to separate the packets where they touch the card. I'm going to put their card on the bottom half. And when I close up the deck, I'm just going to keep a little break. So now I can take off all the cards from the top, just like this. And then when I reach the break, I'm going to spread over again, half and half. I can drop this lower half and then drop the top half. And the card will be on top. Now I think we had the 4 of clubs, not the 6 of hearts. And you want to make sure you don't touch this half at all, because you want this image to actually remain there. So let's say we have the 3 of spades. We'll go ahead and we'll just drop some while mixing. We'll separate the half, drop the bottom, then the top, and now the card is on top. So now what you're going to need to do is actually palm off this card and get it onto this half. Now I might have flashed in the performance, but you can do the palm any way you want. So just imagine this half is spread out, but I'm going to put it to the side for now. So all I did was I came over with my hand like this, and right when my hand was covering, I just pushed over the card. I put this corner right in my pinky, my thumb in the back, and my 4 fingers covering it, and now that's a palm. And I just put it right on top of the half. Now I probably flashed, but make sure you do it better in real life. Another way you could do this is by catching a break underneath the top card. You could come, put your hand over, you could squeeze it, and then it'll just pop up. And now you have the card, so you could put it down. And another way you could actually do this is you have your break. You could come over with your hand, and right when it's covered, your thumb could push up the card about an inch. Your 4 fingers could actually make contact with this card off of the deck. It will pop up into your hand, and now you can squeeze your hand into a palm. But once you have your palm, you're going to want to come over to this pile, spread out, and you're just going to put both of your hands down, and now you're going to tap them like this and talk about the 2 kings. So, any way you want, palm the card. I don't have any tutorials on palms, but I could make a video going over a few palms. I don't use them very much, but I could always do that. So once the card is on top of the deck, you're all set. You're now going to do a move I actually have a video for already. It's called Topper by Frank Garcia, and there are a few ways you could go about this too. So for the Topper, what I did was I spread. Well, actually before I spread, the cards was like this. I talk about how the 2 kings have nothing in between them and we're going to try something. So I square up the deck as slowly as I can, making sure not to flash. I snap my fingers, and then I can spread again, and then they'll see one card in between the two kings. So now I'm going to pick up this half, and I'm going to start spreading to the two kings. I'm going to take this card in between them, and I'm going to outjog it. And while I'm closing up the pack here, I'm going to lift up on this top card, put my pinky in, and then drop the card. So now you have a break above their selection, but they think this is their card when it's not. And now you're going to do topper. I will leave it down below, but really quick, I will go over it. So I come over like this. I'm going to use my knuckles right here in my four fingers. I'm going to make contact with this card, and I'm just going to push it in, turn my wrist at the same time, and once it's pushed in, and once it's actually pushed in, my thumb is going to slide this card out, and you're going to hear that little sound. That's going to make it look like it came from the middle, that it's this card. You have the break, you come over like this, you push it in, and now you can take it out. I will leave topper down below if you need a more in-depth video on it, but here's a few other ways you could go about this. So another way you could do this is you could spread, outjog this card, you could actually slide it out, and then if you want, you could catch a break, put the card on top, and then do a double lift. And you could end here if you want, but if you want to hand the card out to be clean, you could go ahead and do the KM move, which I will leave a link for as well, along with my double lift videos. And then the two kings have nothing in between them. And then obviously, if they never see this card, they won't even think about checking the top. And one more way you could do this is the top change. Now, I don't have a video on the top change because I'm still practicing it, but it might look something like this. You can take it out and get a break at the same time. And now when you come in for the top change, you're going to line up the cards as a double. I'm going to come right under, pinch everything with my four fingers, and slide the top card away. And I can flick it with my thumb, and now I can show the 3. I'll leave it face up just so you can see. I come in like this. But of course you want to turn the wrist because you don't want them to see it. And that is going to be the video. So, I hope you really enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions down below. Check out the last video I made because that goes over all of the controls you will need to know for this trick. If you are new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow or next time with a new video. Bye.